Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Siblings A&J Gardening. I'm Angela. It's been a week since I've videotaped the progress of the greens, so I'm going to do a walkthrough so you all can see what it looks like a week later. My brother Jeffrey has been watering the greens continuously. He's fertilizing right now. Some areas look fuller than others, but all in all, they're progressing pretty nicely. He had to reseed last week in certain areas. But these are broadleaf all through here that I'm recording right now. Those are the most tender greens. I just love broadleaf. Those are my favorite. And I think my least favorite would be collards. Just not a collard person. These are coming along. It's really nice outside. It's cool today. There's a nice breeze. But next week it's going to get hot and humid again. And this is where he reseeded last week. So this is 7 days. So this is looking pretty good. Got to get out here and pick some tomatoes. Probably pick some peppers. It's kind of wet because he's been watering, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And here, the greens are really looking good. When they all come in and get really full, this is what they're going to look like. They're really full and lush. Nothing like some greens and cornbread. Man, oh man. He reseeded in these areas where you don't see much either. They're not coming along as quickly as the other, and I think because the other end gets a lot of sunlight. This end only gets sunlight for part of the day. That other end, it continuously gets sunlight. But I'm gonna walk on this landscaping fabric to get to the other side. But yeah, these grass is still coming up, but all in all, since he's reseeded, it'll choke it out, hopefully. But I'll let you see how lush that looks through there. And those big plants you see there, those are cucumbers. We had cucumbers here in this area and they're starting to come up, but I'm not really worried about them taking away from the greens. Gonna walk around and actually walk down this fabric so you can see how lush and pretty they are. Looks like some animal's been through here and left their droppings. But you know what? Those are cucumbers. Wow, they've really taken off. They're gonna have to get out of there. These look like turnip greens. Okay, I'm gonna walk through the other area, getting you an angle of these. Oh, the ground is pretty wet because he's been watering continuously because it's been so hot here in southern Indiana, hot and humid, and no rain. I forget how many days we haven't had any rain. So he's kept the ground pretty well saturated. But everything's progressing pretty well. Looks pretty good. Our pecans are actually starting to come on the tree as well. When I first came out here, I kept hearing something hit the ground, and then it hit me that it was the pecans. This is the pecan tree here. I don't know if you can see anything on them. I know he told me the squirrels. Oh, sorry. Need to refocus. The squirrels had really been getting in them. I don't know if I see any on the ground. Yeah, I see them. This one isn't ripe yet. This one here, the green. Refocus here. The green one. It's not ripe. But yes, they are getting into the pecans. Last year, I just picked the ones off the ground because the squirrels get into them and knock them off the ground, and this tree is so big anyway. There's no way I could have gotten them without a ladder. And last but not least, I'm gonna do a walk through the collards. Getting sprinkled here. They're looking really, really well. It's collards on both sides of this landscaping fabric. And I'll walk all the way down on the other side as well. Gonna get doused a little bit here. Probably gonna be a little chilly because it's kind of cool today. But this whole area here are collards as well on the other side of the apple tree. They're collards. Whew. Yeah, that water is cold. Cold, cold. And these are collards here as well. And they're looking pretty well. Looking good too. Looking really good, actually. Well, I'm gonna work on the timing of the videos. I know my brother said a lot of people were saying make them shorter, make them shorter. I'm going to do the best I can, but sometimes to get all the content in and to make it make sense, I need to put the full video in there. And I do edit and scale back, but once again, to get the total content, sometimes it is a little longer than others, but I'm going to work on that. So hopefully I can make the videos shorter and get all the content in as well. I'm going to pick a few things today. When I get finished, I'll show you what I've picked. Boy, it feels really good out here. He's continuing to spray here. I'm going to get started. I've gone through and pulled weeds again and got some of the tomato vines off of the ground, but I think within the next week and a half or the next 2 weeks, I want to be finished with these tomatoes. I've picked some red tomatoes and my brother's picked some red ones for me. I want to get ketchup made out of those. I finally was able to get a food meal, so I have that so I can make the ketchup, and then I want to make some salsa, and then I need to get out here and start picking these green tomatoes and get that chow chow made, especially before the greens start coming in. I hate it when the garden starts to look like this. Everything's starting to die back. The tomatoes are dying back, but it's the process. And then before you know it, it'll be springtime and we'll be ready to plant again. But as you can see, the tomatoes are really starting to die back and dry up, even though he's been watering them. But their life cycle is coming to an end. think this is the biggest green pepper I have picked all garden season. It's a nice size. Takes up my whole hand. This is what I've picked today. I've got green peppers in here. I've got peppercini. I have jalapeno and some tomatoes. A few green tomatoes in there, and I have peppercini. No, not peppercini. Habanero peppers in here also. And these are some of the tomatoes that Jeffrey picked for me. I'm gonna make some salsa out of these.